Good afternoon, everyone. This is a little bit long. I hope you have patience to listen. I didn't see Priya's speech, so maybe we might repeat some things. I don't know. I'm not sure where to start. I cannot say that I am glad to stand here, but I have to thank God for giving me the strength to stand here. I believe everything in our life happens for a reason, and the God who created each one of us has a purpose for our stay on this earth. I am not a public speaker. Never did anything like this before. Our life changed forever 2.5 months ago. The reason why I have to stand here is our son Pravin, who is our pride and joy for the past 19 years. As you know, our roots are from South India, and our children are born and raised in this great country. We had the perfect life as any immigrant could dream of. A strong marriage, 3 beautiful and talented kids, professional jobs, and life was very good. All got shattered with one phone call on February 13th night from Carbondale police. Our Pravin is the second child and only son who was supposed to carry our family name. Ever since he was born, he was a unique child. He did not cry much and was always happy. Him and Priya were only 17 months apart, and so they grew up like twins. From early on, they were very involved in church, school, and the community. He could dance and sing very well, and all weekends were filled with practices and programs. As he grew older, he got involved in sports too. In high school, he was in track and cross-country teams, and he was a swimmer, biker, was a member of the church football team, and he kept his body very well. He exercised regularly. Walking was his latest hobby. Pravin was so funny. You could never get bored around him. There was no dull moment around him. Every parent-teacher conferences in school, we used to hear that he was overly social. All the teachers remember him as someone who kept their class interesting and active. His high school coaches remember him as someone who came to practices with a positive attitude. He wanted everyone to be happy and did anything to make people laugh. He would over-exaggerate things and add his own spices to it and make it hilarious stories. He could talk in many accents. He had a strong faith in God, and he believed only God could judge him. He loved people and lived life to the fullest and encouraged everyone to do that. His life motto was YOLO. Like Raju said, you only live once. He achieved so much in his short life. His charisma attracted many people to him, and he kept in touch with them too. He was very close to our family. We kept our children very close to us and made sure we took them everywhere and did everything possible for them. Took multiple family vacations, and so glad we have all those memories now. He kept close contacts with his sisters, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and their kids. He made sure to visit them even if it was a short visit from college. He called and talked to both of us every day and used to send Snapchats all the time. When he said he wanted to be a police officer and later on work with an FBI, we let him follow his dream. We could not imagine him in any other job. He used to love to watch those movies and see them put the puzzle together to solve a case. Now we are left with a big job of solving a puzzle of what happened to our Pravin. We did not know too much about Carbondale when Pravin applied to this college, and even now we feel like we don't know what really is going on here. After Pravin left the party that night of February 12th, no one knows what happened to him, and it's all a mystery and assumption. As soon as we got the phone call, we left home and came to Carbondale. Ever since then, everything is like a dream. We were made to believe many things about our son's mysterious disappearance and death. There were many assumptions that were made before the facts were known, and we were led to believe all those false assumptions. I can surely say that the law enforcement did not take this seriously. We were told in the first meeting that all the college kids do this and they come back in 4 or 5 days. We told them that Pravin would never do anything like that, and he knows that we will be here in 6 hours if he does not call at night. We told them multiple times that he is in some kind of trouble where he cannot use the phone, and we were sure that he would have called if he could. I am so sad to see that human life has no value and had to be satisfied with just a basic search. Everything was done with a protocol. I would like to remind the officials that the law is created for humans, and humans are not created for the law. Even on the fourth day of him missing, we were surprised to hear that the students who lived in the campus did not even know about this missing student. One of my co-worker's son was in this college and he did not know anything about it until she called from Chicago. On Sunday, there was no search, saying there was not enough staff, and we had to live with that. And thank God for our community that came and helped. We talked to the media only on Sunday, 4 days after, hoping to spread the news, and we were criticized on Monday by the police department for talking to the media, and we were told to coordinate with the college on what to say to the media. Our only agenda at that time was to find out Pravin. Thank God for all the prayers from all over the world that they found him, even though the outcome is not what we hoped for. Otherwise, he would have been listed as a missing person. Everything that followed finding Pravin made us suspicious. We were told many things that we felt very hard to believe. As an average citizen, I believe that we were not treated fairly, or our son's disappearance and death was treated seriously. We felt there was a rush into conclusions, and we were told conflicting stories, and that made us more suspicious. It gave us a chill when we heard that there was no yellow crime scene tape in the area, and we were told that it is a private property and they could not use a tape there. That was very odd to us. The family was given different statements on the position Pravin was found. Even before an autopsy, there was a cause of death that was released to the press and said there is no foul play suspected. We still find it hard to believe that the last person who was in contact with our son was free to go without any further questioning, and when we asked about it, we were told that there is no reason for them to suspect him, and we were told that the driver told them everything he knew and had no reason for them to believe that he did anything wrong. Hope they realize that it's not true, at least now. We were led to believe that our son was pretty intoxicated from the party and went to a second party and got into a car with a recent acquaintance, did not know where he lived, and drove around with the driver and got into an argument, had a fight that continued inside and outside the car, ran into woods, could not find his way out, and died of hypothermia. Now we know that there was no fight in the party, and the tweet he sent about the bloody knuckles was from a window that fell on his hand, and knowing Pravin, he did the tweet to make people laugh and to act cool. There was no second party that Pravin went. The driver was a total stranger to him, and Pravin was not intoxicated and had no drugs in his system, and for sure he had injuries which I saw with my own eyes. A mother knows every single mark on her child's body. We strongly believe that he was put in a position that he could not use his phone. We are still waiting for the rationale behind the cause of death as hypothermia, knowing he was not intoxicated or under the influence of drugs. What made him not to use his phone? We are sure that he will never get into a stranger's car. He had more brains than any of us in our family. Now we know there was a state trooper on the scene, and we all heard the report the trooper did. The driver told him that he picked up a black male from Highway 13 and had a fight and ran into woods, and he did not want to file a report, and so he was let go. It makes me wonder how we can trust the people who have taken the oath to serve and protect lives. If everyone did their job, our son would have been alive now, and we wouldn't be standing here and talking about it. I am not trying to blame anyone or point fingers. We just demand answers. We want a proper investigation into this and find the truth to what really happened to Pravin. His soul needs to rest, and we need a peace of mind. Please stop trying to find ways to demoralize the victim and prolong the investigation. Please use that time and energy. Please use the time and energy to find the truth in this. We believe in the justice system in this country, and we want that to work the way it should. Now we hear that there are so many cases that need closures. We did not know about Molly Young until this happened to our son, and now we know the pain they are going through. Losing a child is unimaginable, and to live every day not knowing what really happened to your child is mentally and physically draining. We will fight for justice for all who lost their voice, like Pravin, Molly, Chrissy Williams, and many others. We will be their voice. We will not rest until we find the truth. If we have to make our voice heard in White House, we will do that. We live for our children, and we will do anything for them. We have a full supporting community and many well-wishers all over the country who are tired of the injustice and are willing to fight for justice, and we feel the strength. We want every professional to do their job with a conscience. As tax-paying citizens of this country, we demand equal treatment. Everyone should be treated with a human feeling. No one should be made to believe things that are not true about their children. We attended our son's vacant funeral with a heavy heart because of all the things we were told by the officials without proper investigation. We heard many incidents like finding kids in college dorms hung in their closet with feet touching the floor, which was ruled suicide. Perfect swimmers found in the pool and river, which was ruled accidental, and many others like that. All these are ruled as no foul play. There is a student from Rice University, Rennie Joes, still missing after 2 months, and they have already came up with a conclusion that he was on drugs and committed suicide and no foul play suspected. All sound too familiar to us now. How can they come to that conclusion without even finding him? We don't have detective minds, and that is why we believe in our legal system to do their job well. If there are any loopholes in the legal system that needs to be changed or fixed, this is the time for that, so nothing like this will happen to another family. This could be anyone's son or daughter. If our son's death can make any change in the legal system, all the pain that we are going through is worth, and his life will be honored, and I'm sure that's how he would like to be remembered. Our faith is the only thing that's holding us now. Ever since this happened, our Lord has provided us with people to help us wherever we needed help, and we are sure He will lead us to find the truth one day. We get calls from people all over the world reaching out to us and helping us, and they all say that something is telling them to reach out to us. I have to mention somebody by name Penny, who is helping us from Texas on the fundraiser dinner that's coming up on May 16th in Chicago. She was a total stranger who got drawn into Pravin, and now she is our family. We strongly believe that God had a big mission through Pravin's life and death, and we will make sure that mission is achieved. This is a wake-up call for Carbondale. We pray that everyone that's working on this case would have the wisdom from above to make the right decisions. Our son wanted to be a police officer. We will never see him in uniform, and we hope the people in uniform will do some justice to him. To the person or persons who are directly or indirectly involved in our son's missing and death, if they are listening, we want you to know that our Pravin meant the world to us. He will be loved forever, and you have no idea how much we miss him and the struggle we face daily to live without him. We miss his surprise visits to home. We will never see him laugh, never hear his jokes, will not see him graduate, get a job, and we will not see him get married or see his children. We will never be able to hug him again. Our family is broken and never will be the same. This is a family's plea in pain and agony. If you have any kind of conscience in you, please come forward and tell the authority what really happened that night. I just hope God will give you inner peace. We want to thank the Pravin Action Council for arranging the service today. Mr. Gladson Varughese, Mrs. Mariamma Pillai, attorneys Jimmy Vachachara and Tom Abraham, and all the committees that worked behind this. There are too many names to mention, and we want to thank each and everyone from the bottom of our hearts. We want to thank our vicar, Reverend Daniel Thomas. Up until yesterday, we were sure that he was not able to attend the service because of prior engagements. But when he called last night, we cried with joy that he was able to come, and thank God he is here today. We will never forget him because Pravin took his last communion from him the Sunday before he went missing. We want to thank Reverend Viju P. Simon, who has been a major part in this. And he got transferred and he left to San Francisco yesterday. He called us on 2 times this morning on our way here, and he said he's praying and he wished us well. Father Thomas Kurian is someone we consider family. He's been with us from the beginning, and thank you for your prayers and support. We want to thank Reverend Shaker Samuel, who agreed to attend with a very short notice. Retired Reverend P.K. Sunny, Father Gray, who agreed to come, but maybe he's busy. My brother, Reverend Deacon Liju Paul, and everyone who led the prayers. Thanks to the worship team who sang Pravin's favorite songs. We want to thank all the ecumenical clergy from Chicago that sent us their prayers and well wishes. We want to thank the respected Carbondale Mayor, Mr. Don Monty, for your presence today. We really appreciate you finding time for us in your busy schedule. Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Mrs. Sheila Simon, could not be here. We want to appreciate her for all her concerns in our son's incident and all the support she's providing to us. And we want to thank Mrs. Patricia Clark, the External Affairs Director, to Honorable Lieutenant Governor Mrs. Sheila Simon for coming to the service on behalf of her. I have shared many emails with you and Mrs. Sheila Simon. We want to thank Attorney Charles Stegmeyer for coming and delivering a powerful speech. And we have all the confidence in you. Thanks to Alderman Mr. Jim Brooks of Des Plaines, who came to the church this morning in support of us. We want to thank everyone who shared their thoughts today. Mr. Gladson Varughese, Chevalier Cherry and Venkadat, Mr. Raju Varughese, Mr. Vijay Vincent. We want to thank Professor Sudesh, who made all the arrangements here for the service, and thank you for everything you did while we were here during the search for Pravin. Along with Dr. Punnus, Rohini Andy, and everybody from Carbondale. Mrs. Monica Zukas, who has become like our family, and we want to thank her as a family and as a community for everything she's doing to bring justice not only to Pravin and Molly, but for many others like them. Thank God for people like her who can shed light into the injustice and make people aware of what really is happening. You do this with a passion. Your love for people is very obvious. May God continue to help you fight for justice. We want to thank Mr. Larry Young. We feel your pain, and all the supporters of Molly Young who are here today, we thank you. We want to thank everyone that took the 6-hour drive from Chicago to attend this and to support us. Your support and prayers are our strength. You have been with us since day one and can't thank you enough. We want to thank the Carbondale community and well-wishers and every single one that attended the service today from in and around Carbondale. The messages and outpouring support we get from Carbondale citizens are overwhelming. We know how emotionally involved you all are in this. We will stay united and get justice done. We want to thank Pravin's friends. Thank you for giving him a fun-filled life while he was here. We want to thank everyone that came from St. Louis. We thank the authority in Carbondale for granting permission to use this place. We want to thank every single media that are here, and especially Eric from North Shore Voice. He was an instrumental person in getting all these signatures done. We know the importance of media in keeping this case alive, so thank you all. To the Indian and Pakistani community in Carbondale, a big thank you for being with us from the day Pravin went missing, and the support continues. To Annie and Susan, thank you so much for putting this service together and keeping it very organized. Susan, Renchi, and everyone, Chariachnangal, everyone that worked in the transportation committee who arranged this, Achamunya, and if I miss anybody, please accept this as an individual thank you. We want to appreciate, acknowledge every single one. Everyone that volunteered their time. We cannot thank you enough. Once again, thank you all for attending, and together we will get justice done.